Euphoria, season 1, episode 1. Right. Zen fucking Daya. Bravo. It's not that she couldn't act, it's just that me watching her in this episode, I'm so. The closest thing I can compare it to is probably like a Kristen Ritter in Jessica Jones, but this goes more than this goes deeper and further than someone of like Kristen Ritter in Jessica Jones. I'm very aware watching this show how quickly in the modern era, like, innocence is kind of taken away for a lot of young women. And I say that because I'm gonna admit I had a lot of naive ideas, or I say more like ideas that I knew were technical facts about women, about many women, but I pushed to the back of my mind because thinking about them too much was like a horror movie for me. Example one: many women are attracted to men who are older than them for various reasons. The show took that, applied it to this first episode of Euphoria I watched, and it I don't know how to describe it. There's a movie with Mel Gibson. I forget the name. Is it Mel Gibson? No, I forget the name of it. Someone, Clockwork Orange. That's the one where someone's forced to watch screens on an image to like condition them. There were scenes in the show where I had that feeling that Alex in the book and film must have had. Check out my Clockwork Orange review on this channel, book review. But I digress. This show reminds you, if you're someone who hasn't gone through those experiences, obviously I'm not a woman. If you're someone who hasn't gone through those experiences and those pressures associated with being wanted, being desired, but also just feeling content and calm and with yourself through taking drugs, through whatever you do, it's gonna show in ways that will seem wild if you haven't gone through stuff like that. I kept to myself. Yeah, didn't have sex in my school days at all. So I watched something like this and it seems mad to me, but then I realized, you know what? All of this starts from certain ideas that I knew I had about women, about other men, when I was the same age as the characters in these shows. There were some things that I laughed at, and I realized, oh shit, I used to think like that when I was younger. Like, there was a guy in this episode who pointed out something that I thought seemed dumb. He basically said that, oh, women don't watch porn unless they're sluts. And I laughed. I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. And I thought about how I used to how I used to think about people who watch porn, and my opinion when I was the guy's age who said that was only men watch porn and women are too pure, they're too innocent to watch porn. So it sinks into, watching the show sinks into a lot of obviously warped mentalities that I've had about opposite sex growing up, and sometimes to this day, let's be real. And it's almost like, going back to that I said about that feeling of like being forced to watch something with your eyes. I'm not being forced to watch anything. I want to watch this show, and it interests me, but it feels so real. Like, it's not pulling any punches. That's what I'm trying to get at. In doing so, it's making me think so much about, are people just in situations that are out of their control that lead to more shitty situations. Can't enunciate today. Sorry, guys. Yeah, just it got my mind racing. That's the biggest effect this episode's got on me. I'm just like, raw. how many people are like Rue out there? And I don't even mean because she has substance abuse problems. I mean, when she was born, her issues from a young age, that if you know, you know, in the show, she has various disorders. Yeah, it's just got me thinking, like, let's get political. How many people are out there like Rue who are resorting to unsafe ways to kind of calm themselves down, to relax, or in their minds at least, because obviously that's a whole bag that I'm not qualified to talk about. People who have substance abuse issues. Um, how many people are out there like Rue with Rue's conditions before taking drugs, who are taking drugs because we live in societies, whether it's the States or the UK, where there's not nationwide kind of inquiries. Maybe there is, and I just don't know. Please comment down below if you know about that stuff, because there isn't nationwide inquiries into what what drugs taking would look like, recreational drug taking would look like if the government found ways to, maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking a lot of naive ideas, like watching this show. Is there a way to make taking some drugs recreationally safe, completely safe? Is there? I don't know. And yeah, it just feels like there's some people that are just in a effed up situation, but like a Rue, regardless, they take drugs. You're gonna die at some point. The way her habits, you're gonna tell she's off one on a daily. Mad. Yeah, she's moving mad. But at the same time, you understand why she's doing it. And that I have to shout out Sam Levinson, who also wrote Malcolm and Marie. Check out the review on this channel. I'm shamelessly plugging myself. I don't care. But he, from what I understand, I watched one interview with Zendaya where she explained how apparently he had substance abuse problems himself, and that influenced his writing of the show and his creation of the show Euphoria. So it makes sense. Um, it makes me want to learn more, and also just makes me want to learn about things that I'll be honest, I never really gave a shit about when I was younger. The perspective of and the pressures of young women, or just women in general, when it comes to society. There was a character in this show. He was putting injections in her butt, and I've heard about stuff like this happening before. With porn stars, for example, injecting themselves to make their butts look bigger and stuff like that. But I'm just very aware again because I saw like red spots on her butt, and it reminded me on the character's butt, and it reminded me of watching horror movies. Like what's it? Resident Evil. I forget what scene it in. Maybe part 2. She has various like injection marks on her body because she's been injecting herself with a virus or something. There's a lot of things that I speak for myself only, realize I've not been acknowledging enough about the nature of the world, the nature of things, and so I keep them out of my mind because it's just like what's the phrase? Out of sight, out of mind. It's naive as heck watching this show. You can't ignore people like a Jules, people like a Rue, shoot, people like all the girls in the show who people want to be desired, but all the girls in the show are onto men, and all the men in the show who are onto girls, they just like, did I think this way when I was younger? That's what's going through my head. Like, did I think this way when I was young? I You know when you like to think that you are smarter than I keep coming back to horror movies. You know when you like to think that you're smarter than the person in a horror movie, and then you realize something at one point, if you're smart, that the reason why people act the way they act when they get scared or when they're insecure is because that feeling is so overwhelming for many people, myself first and foremost, or anger or jealousy. It clouds the logic. Human beings, we're not all like the Dalai Lama or some shit meditating on in a Buddhist temple or on a mountain, levitating like is an episode of Avatar or something like that. Most people, even people who are calm and older, there's always the potential to lose yourself to emotion over logic in some situations. And then you think about when you're young and you're still learning who you are, and you take that to 100, because this shows all the things that not only a parent would feel fear about their son or daughter, but a young person would fear about themselves, not so deep down that I'm gonna lose myself to whatever because I need to get to this. I need to feel good in this way. I need to feel good in this way. It's like flipping heck. Did I think this way when I was young? Like the characters in the show, I'm like, that is the dumbest issue. But then I think, oh shoot, was I one of those dudes? What? What? That's the best thing about the show. It makes you question yourself in ways that if you're not used to, I mentioned it earlier, can make you uncomfortable. But to me, it's not uncomfortable in a bad way. Maybe that's just me. I want to wade in the deep, in the water, and see more of the show and what it's about. And I'm really glad it's out there because obviously this show, I compared it to Jessica Jones. In the vein of Jessica Jones, in the vein of various other shows of Breaking Bad, like Jesse Breaking Down, or speaking of Jessica Jones, what's her name? What's Kristen Ritter's name in Breaking Bad? I forget. When she overdosed, and that scene in Breaking Bad. There's so many other shows that come to mind. Yeah, it's just too many to name. There's certain types of shows where they're showing you, no, you can't ignore that there are people like this in society. And if you're like me, you're one of those people who just like pretends, oh no, everything is just my box. Yeah, you're gonna be in for a nasty surprise when maybe someone in your family is affected by the issues that some of the women and men are affected by in the show, or someone in your community, someone you hear about it at your school, your workplace. That's the biggest thing in the show. It discourages apathy because you're so invested in these characters as people, not just people who are not necessarily people who are doing things to themselves, but people who are doing things to themselves, are putting themselves in situations, but it's never that simple that they're just putting themselves in situations. And I respect that so much. The writing of the show, the acting, best things. It's a great recipe. Those are my thoughts, guys. I'm definitely watching the rest of the series. At some point, I'll probably do a season 1 review of the show. Tell me your thoughts down below if you've seen the first episode. Only the first episode. Please do not spoil. If you've seen Euphoria, I know season 2 is out right now. Please don't spoil season 1 or 2 Euphoria or anything else that happens in the series. Just tell me your thoughts on the first episode if you've seen it. If you haven't, would you watch it? I finally bit the bullet and watched it after years of my sister and the show getting bigger and bigger. various social media outlets. Tell me your thoughts, like I said. Like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. Other than that, guys, signing off. Salute.